Alright guys, back at it again, and you know, I've done Oscar stuff on this channel, and I had to get my quick thoughts out. So here we go. So yes, a couple days ago, the Oscar nominations were put out there. And obviously, this is one of the biggest days of the year for the Oscars. And I'm just going to give my quick thoughts real quick. I do have my phone with you, so if you know, just so I can scroll through some of these. And we're just kind of going to go a little bit by little. Let's start with Best Picture. I'm just going to give my thoughts. I'll say ahead of time, I've not seen everything. I will have seen pretty much everything by the time getting ready for the Oscars, so I can do predictions and all that stuff. But let me give my quick thoughts. As far as Best Picture goes, most are not surprising. You got Train Dreams, Sinners, Sentimental Value, Secret Agent, One Battle After Another, Marty Supreme, Hamnet, Frankenstein, F1, and Begonia. I'm definitely surprised with F1. I loved F1. It's one of my favorite movies of the year. But I wouldn't have, if it didn't make it, I don't know that I've been upset about it, because it's just not an Oscar type movie. But I am happy it made it, because I love the movie. I know it has its issues as a sports film, and there's a lot of generic stuff to it, but I think it's one of the best theater experiences I've ever had. But, you know, getting past that, I am kind of surprised by Begonia. I thought the movie was good. Some of these other movies, I just don't think it's on the level of. Granted, I would probably take Begonia over Frankenstein. I also was kind of underwhelmed by that as well. But most of these others make sense to me. I'm not surprised by Train Dreams. Sinners was an obvious one. I've not seen Sentimental Value yet, but everything I've heard, it seems obvious. The Secret Agent, I've heard great things. Another one I haven't seen. One Battle After Another, no shock. It's probably what's going to win Best Picture. Marty Supreme, one of my favorites of the year. No shock. Hamnet is one other one I've not seen yet, but I will, obviously. And that's also no shock. I mean, those seven are not shocking to me. Three are shocking. Maybe Begonia and Frankenstein, but Frankenstein's not shocking. I just don't know that I agree. Begonia, I don't know if I'd say maybe shocking is a stretch, but it didn't hit me like, I guess some, as far as the voters go. I thought it was a fine movie. I thought it was good performances. Interesting message by the end, but like, I don't know. I just don't think it stands up to some of these others. Others that I would prefer maybe over Begonia. I mean, I know this would never have made it, but I thought 28 Years Later is debatable. I thought the movie didn't quite click for me as I was hoping, and obviously that came out way in the beginning of the year, so I didn't really expect it. The other one, Jake Kelly, I think I would have preferred over Begonia. They're close, though, I would say. Weapons probably should have made it over. Weapons should be over. Begonia should be over Frankenstein. In my opinion, I think Weapons should have made it. But I think it being a horror film kind of hurt it. I know Sinners made it, but Sinners also is a period piece, which Oscars love. So it's not surprising Weapons didn't make it, but at least we get Amy Madigan for Weapons. I'm definitely not mad Begonia won it, but there's a few other choices that I just would have preferred over it. But I will say, I think I definitely would have taken Begonia over Frankenstein. Frankenstein's one of my least favorite movie on here. I know it's definitely loved by a lot out there. I do think a movie like Frankenstein is going to win some other awards, like costume and anything that's to do with the set design and stuff like that. But that movie, while I thought was solid, it's unfortunate because a lot of movies like that, like Frankenstein and Begonia, not really rewatchable films for me, personally. But yeah, anyways, otherwise I think they got the Best Picture right. My guess, and I'm gonna have official predictions, but my guess is One Battle is gonna end up winning, but we'll see. I mean, a lot of things can change from here till then. I'm rooting for Sinners. Sinners is my favorite movie of the year, but like as far as what I think will win would be One Battle, which I would not be mad at. I do think One Battle is one of the best movies of this year or of the 2025. So yeah, I mean the Best Picture, not super surprising, but like I think I would have rather seen some other things over Begonia or Frankenstein for that matter. But I do know when it comes to the Oscars, if they nominate, if certain movies are nominated a couple other spots, they're going to get them in possibly for Best Picture or the reverse of that. So I get it. Moving on, we got Best Director. We got Chloe Zhao for Hamnet, Josh Safdie for Marty Supreme, Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another, Joachim Trier for Sentimental Value, and Ryan Coogler for Sinners. Really good list. I honestly can't really argue with any of these. Nothing is of a real surprise. Like I said, I still need to see Sentimental Value and Hamnet, so those are a little harder for me to talk about, but like honestly everything else, like Josh Safdie, I'm really happy that he got at least nominated. I think he arguably should win, but I'm just glad he got nominated. Paul Thomas Anderson obviously deserves to get nominated for One Battle, and I personally want Ryan Coogler to win. I think he deserves to win this one, but it is a tough list. It is a tough director list, and yeah, it's hard to argue. Next, we got Best Actress in a Leading Role. So we got Jessie Buckley as Hamnet, Rose Byrne, If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, Kate Hudson, Song Blue, Renee, I'm definitely going to mess that name up, Renee Reniz, sorry, apologies, for Sentimental Value, and Emma Stone for Begonia. Mostly, I'll say this is not one I'm going to spend a lot of time on. It's hard for me to really talk too much on these movies because I have not seen If I Had Legs to Kick You, I've not seen Hamnet. Honestly, I haven't seen any of these except Begonia. Again, way before, I'm going to make sure I see a bunch of these movies and I can give my proper predictions. But I thought Emma Stone was good in Begonia. That's the only one I can really. I know based on everything I've heard that Jessie Buckley seems like she's going to run away with this award. So we'll see. I'll have to, once I see Hamnet and a couple of these other ones, that'll definitely be interesting. Best Actor, one I can definitely speak on a bit more. We got Timothée Chalamet for Marty Supreme, Leonardo DiCaprio for One Battle After Another, Ethan Hawke for Blue Moon, Michael B. Jordan from Sinners, and Wagner Moura for The Secret Agent. This is a stacked list. I obviously haven't seen Blue Moon or The Secret Agent. As I mentioned before, I haven't seen The Secret Agent, but I've heard great things. But of the other three, the fact that you have Chalamet, DiCaprio, and Michael B. Jordan, like, all great performances. I feel like this is probably Chalamet's to win. Shout out to Michael B. Jordan, though. And I'm kind of feels like I'm being a Sinners, biased towards Sinners, but I do think Michael B. Jordan is great playing two different roles. But I do think this is the Timothée Chalamet award to win. It's his time. He's in his prime, which doesn't always mean you win in your prime, but he's the next. He's the next big thing. It really is already the next big thing, and I think this seems like he's going to win it. I think they got everybody right. I don't know that I would argue really anything else. We'll see once I, see more of the movies, if that changes at all. But as of right now, I don't know that I would change anything. I guess you could say Jesse Plemons for Begonia is pretty good, but I'm not surprised. Best actor in a lead, or just do that. Best actress in a supporting role. I'm probably gonna skip past this one. I only know two. Or I'm sorry, I know three. Amy Madigan, Musika, sorry, Wrestling is not my go-to for Sinners, and Tiana Taylor for One Battle. So I know 3 of these actually. I know Elle Fanning has put out a lot of press and a lot of stuff on her part. I can't wait to see Sentimental Value because obviously they have 2 nominations in supporting role. I've been saying all year before we knew who the options were, the nominations were. Amy Madigan is my choice. She's amazing in Weapons. Best Actor in a Supporting Role, Benicio del Toro, One Battle, Jacob Elordi, Frankenstein, Delroy Lindo for Sinners, Sean Penn for One Battle After Another, Stellan Skarsgård as Sentimental Value. The only one actually I haven't seen here is obviously Stellan Skarsgård, but I think there's another stacked list. Like, I think One Battle will probably hurt itself because it has 2 options. They might be fighting for kill each other in votes. I'm so happy Delroy Lindo got nominated. He's awesome. He's awesome in this movie. One of my favorite parts about Sinners, especially him playing this alcoholic, but then has really great moments throughout. His dialogue when they're driving is some of the best dialogue in the film. He is electric in Sinners, and one of my favorite parts. Also has a lot of great funny moments as well. I thought Jacob Elordi is really good in Frankenstein. Definitely one of the better parts of Frankenstein. Sean Penn, he's my favorite performance from One Battle, but I also get why he wouldn't be to others. I get it. Benicio del Toro is awesome. His chemistry with DiCaprio is amazing. So, who I think's going to win? This is the toughest one for me. I would say, I feel like from what I've heard, Stellan Skarsgård seems to be the favorite, but I don't know. I can't wait to see Sentimental Value because clearly it's a movie that I need to get to. Best Adapted Screenplay, so we have Begonia, Will Tracy, Guillermo del Toro, Frankenstein, Chloe Zhao, and Maggie O'Farrell for Hamnet, Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle, and Clint Bentley and Greg Kadar for Train Dreams. Pretty good choices. I don't really have a huge dog in the fight for this one. I can't wait to see Hamnet, so maybe that will, maybe that will pique my interest a bit more. But I don't know on this one yet. That one still is kind of a thinker for me. Best Original Screenplay, you got Robert Kaplan for Blue Moon, Jafar Panahi as It Was Just an Accident, Ronald Bronstein and Josh Safdie for Marty Supreme, Eskel Vogt and Joe Kim Trier for Sentimental Value, and then Ryan Coogler for Sinners. This is another one I'd like to see Ryan Coogler win. I think that's an amazing screenplay, but I also think Marty Supreme is a great one. But again, some of these other movies I need to see. Best Casting is the new one. I'm not going to go over that one right now. Best Cinematography, so we got Dan Loston for Frankenstein, Darius Kahoundi for Marty Supreme. Sorry if I'm butchering these. Michael Bauman for One Battle After Another. Autumn Gerald Arkpow is for Sinners, and Adolfo Veluso for Train Dreams. I think Train Dreams is shot amazingly. Like, I'm honestly kind of rooting for that movie in this respect. Like, I love the scenery that it chooses. I think Sinners is a good option. Frankenstein's a good option. To me, Train Dreams, man, that cinematography is fantastic. So that, honestly, that's kind of my pick, honestly. Best Editing, we got Stephen Maroney for F1, Ronald Bronstein and Josh Safdie for Marty Supreme, Andy Jurgensen for One Battle After Another, Olivier Beaucoutet for Sentimental Value, and Michael P. Shaver for Sinners. I think this is F1 to win. This is kind of why I think F1 got into Best Picture, because it's getting some of these nominations, and Best Editing just makes all the sense in the world to me. But I think Marty Supreme, shout out. Go down to Best Visual Effects is a guy that sees a lot of like the bigger movies. So you have Avatar, Fire and Ash, you got F1, you got Jurassic World Rebirth, you have The Lost Bus, and you have Sinners. I've not seen The Lost Bus. But for visual effects, I mean, I feel like this is again might be F1. F1 might get in there for visuals and sound, and really honestly kind of deserves it. Avatar and Fire and Ash, I would also like visually, that's what those movies are built for. So if that one would not surprise me, it was shot beautifully, like it was made beautifully. Jurassic World Rebirth, maybe I have such a sour taste in my mouth from that movie, I don't know. Best costume design, you got Deborah Scott for Avatar Fire and Ash, Kate Hawley for Frankenstein, Malgosi Terzaka for Hamnet, Yuki Belzi for Marty Supreme, and Ruthie Carter for Sinners. I think any of these five, I think Hamnet's probably going to get a lot of buzz for this one. I think Frankenstein, I love the period piece costume designs in that movie as well as Sinners. Avatar Fire and Ash is a weird one for me. Not really sure what to make of that spot, but okay. Best production design, we have Tamara Deverell, Shane Vu for Frankenstein, Fiona Crombie and Alice Felton for Hamnet, Jack Fisk and Adam Willis for Marty Supreme, for Florencia Martin and Anthony Corlino for One Battle, Hannah Beechler and Monique Champagne, for Sinners. Best production design, I like One Battle a lot for this, but I think a lot of these are very notable as well and very much could win. That's kind of the ones I'm going to go off. There's a couple others I might go deeper dive into later on, but that's kind of my feeling. I feel like they got most of things right. There are a few surprises like a Delroy Lindo, which I'm happy about, or F1, which I'm also happy about. But then you have movies like Weapons that really got Amy Madigan. I think that's kind of it, unless I missed something, which might be the case, that I thought definitely deserved more. I just think Weapons should have been nominated for Best Picture. I would have taken that over Begonia, would have taken that over Frankenstein. I would honestly, it probably deserves it over F1, even though I liked F1 more, but like if we're talking Oscars, like I feel like Weapons made more sense. But it being horror, even though we're getting closer to allowing horror being more a part of the Oscars, it's still kind of not all the way there yet. We're not even close to all the way there yet, but those are my really quick thoughts. Wanted to get this out here. I know a bunch of us are snowed in currently, so thought I'd get this out there and see what y'all's thoughts are. I'm excited. It's the first time I'm really covering the Oscars as much as I am. I know I'm still behind on some things like Hamnet and Sentimental Value and The Secret Agent and a couple others, but it's my first time really diving into this stuff. I mean, I pay attention to Oscars over the years. I have my issues with the Oscars that haven't changed, but obviously with the Oscar guys, Alex and Trevor, as we do have another Oscar video coming out soon, so stay tuned for that. But I am excited to do it with those guys, but also, just get into the world of Oscars a bit more, give our predictions. What are we going to get right? What are we going to get wrong? So we'll see what happens, but yeah, guys, put down in the comments, do you agree with me, disagree with me, what are your predictions, and yeah, as always, guys, I'll see you next time.